Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we cover a AAA game. The Darkest Dungeon series needs no introduction. This is a turn-based strategy horror game with some roguelike elements. It's very highly regarded, and to my eternal shame, I never played the original game. Now, I didn't see what the hype around the series was until I tried it out for myself. Thanks to Red Hook Games, we're having a look at Darkest Dungeon 2, and let me tell you, this is worth all of the hype. This is possibly one of the best strategy games I played this year, if not of all time. We're going to look at the first part of the game, and I'm going to show you why you, if you're a turn-based strategy enthusiast or if you played the original, should absolutely check out Darkest Dungeon 2. Now, the mark of a good game for me is when I end up playing the game so much I don't get round to reviewing it, and Darkest Dungeon is no exception. I've been doing a few runs of the game, and rather than starting a new one, I thought we would attempt to take out the first boss in this region. With that being said, this boss is incredibly powerful, and all of my attempts thus far have failed.
The hellish abyss extends beyond sanity itself.
Each run starts with the Altar of Hope, a place where we can spend the candles, which are the currency of the game, representing the hope of the human race. Now we can purchase things like items. We can get upgrades to our stagecoach.
Recollection is another implement at our disposal.
I've mainly been focusing on items that will restore our health, as often battles can go on for a while and we only have so many healing items in our inventory. What I have done also is to upgrade our characters themselves. We can upgrade our characters' memories, and this basically unlocks stories that we can undertake to upgrade our characters and to get them additional abilities, and also unlock a bit of the lore of the game. Finally, we have our heroes.
Broken souls, and yet our fortunes ride with them.
Now we have 4 heroes to start with: the Plague Doctor, the Grave Robber, who is our assassin, Man-at-Arms, who is basically our meat shield, and the Highwayman, a pistolier with a taste for close range combat with his daggers as well. Now we've upgraded them a fair bit, and I'm going to hang on to some of my candles because if we can make it to the next inn, I'll be able to buy some very powerful items.
Sanctuary, as fleeting as a dying star.
Each run begins in our stagecoach, our means of transportation, and also a way for our characters to rest and heal in between encounters.
The house on the borderlands, half swallowed by the stain.
Now the game has some excellent atmosphere, and the voice acting is fantastic, with the narrator really setting the stage for this dark and dreary world.
We spent long nights immersed in crumbling, worm-eaten volumes, plumbing the forbidden secrets of antiquity. The crossroads, where lost souls hope to find their way.
At the crossroads, we can hire some heroes. Now I only have the starting set at the moment. Barristan, our Man-at-Arms.
Pride, more devastating than the horrors of 100 campaigns.
Our Highwayman, who is an excellent ranged and close-range combatant, a really nice all-rounder. The Grave Robber
slips unseen into the catacombs of the mind.
She serves as a assassin class, being able to do huge damage via throwing knives and a little bit of poison. And finally, our Plague Doctor.
Indiscriminate science stains the surgeon's hands.
In addition to being able to use healing potions, he also has some other more nefarious means of dispatching our foes. So it's a really well-rounded group of heroes, and as we progress further in the game, we'll be able to get more.
This was a beautiful place once. What a pity.
Now, in a darkened place called the Confessional, there is a demonic creature.
Exhausted. Ahead, only trial and tribulation.
A boss that I haven't managed to defeat, and today we are going to attempt to destroy him.
Is giving way.
Now, battles are random. Unfortunately, we have run into a fairly dangerous foe in the form of some zombie shamans and also a heavy zombie that will do a fair bit of damage. So we need to end this fight really quick. Our best bet is to use some poison to cut down our enemy's health.
The enemy weakens and wanes.
And then to cut down the weaker enemy with our frontline Barristan. Zombies are made short work of with a grenade from our Plague Doctor. Now we only have 2 enemies to worry about. I'm going to use my Highwayman to put a bullet in between the eyes of this zombie shaman.
Measure out your violence and apply it judiciously.
Now, often in battle, you want to target the enemies that have special abilities, whether that is to buff their units or to do massive damage to yours. In her case, she has some really nasty abilities where this guy can only hit us with his axe. I mean, that's going to kill us too, but I would rather remove the most dangerous pieces from the board first. Now what I can do next is apply some blinding gas, but that's not going to work. One of the things with this turn-based combat that I've had to get used to is that certain attacks can only hit certain enemies depending on their position on the field. In this case, I cannot hit anything, and he's already poisoned, so perhaps instead we will go for a buffing ability. This is going to buff all of our characters and reduce the amount of incoming damage. Next, I'm going to try and finish off the character on the back line with a carefully placed shot. Excellent.
A petty hindrance.
Barristan is going to defend because we're going to take a hit next. And you can see the poison eating away at this zombie. Now all we need to do is apply some steel and just keep wailing on this zombie until finally he goes down. He has a massive health pool, so we're going to apply some more poison. And all we need to do is just keep smashing away at him until he goes down. Now I could use a healing ability to heal the bleeding on these characters, but given he is on the edge of death, a carefully timed stab will end this encounter. Well, maybe give him a bit of help into the afterlife. And with that, our first battle is complete.
In this weighty gloom, a spark.
We have some items we can use, and our characters are not so badly hurt.
Resupply await you.
Now, your characters will passively heal along the way, and part of the fun of the game is determining the risk versus the reward. Do you take on the more difficult enemies? Do you take on the extra risk, or do you decide to play it safe?
Heart does much for the weary body.
here we've made it
Even
to
more,
one of the
perhaps,
local inns.
For the restless soul.
And with every area we manage to get to, we will earn candles. And candles are our currency. And we need to get as many of those as we can within each run to strengthen our characters. And we can see here we've got a radiant flame, amongst other abilities. For now, we're going to rest.
The means of mastery.
And we're going to upgrade our characters. Now, I have been using mainly the Highwayman and Barristan, but I think it's time to upgrade my healing abilities because we need a way to heal more reliably. I want to get some very powerful healing. There we go. Excellent. So now we've upgraded our most used skills. That should definitely help us out, and we can...
must be maintained if it is to carry you where you must go.
And we don't seem to be able to... they're combat items. So we don't have anything yet to apply to our stagecoach, as yet. You will find some as you travel the different routes of the game. We have a choice.
Fire and rot. Is there no sanctuary from this?
We have a choice of two routes here. I'm going to go for the sprawl because in this sprawl there is a confessional.
All that beauty and knowledge.
And
ash on wind.
In the sprawl there is a demonic priest, a gigantic monstrosity that I have attempted to defeat several times, and today we're going to take him on. Now you don't always meet him, sometimes you can actually miss the encounter depending on the route that you take, but our goal is to conquer the sprawl. Now I have been upgrading my characters in preparation for this epic battle.
Ruined and aflame.
So we're going to go after the boss. Will we succeed or will we fall in battle? No one knows. Now, knowing the different creatures in the game, and as you fight these guys, you will gain more lore on them, and you'll understand their abilities. Obviously, any enemy that appears to be a mage or a shaman, anyone that has some abilities that could be a problem, they're the ones you want to target first. Obviously, this guy here we want to kill first. It looks like he may be a healer or a mage. So let's start off with a Noxious Blast. And follow that up with a knock to the head with our friend Barristan. And finally, a carefully aimed pistol shot to finish the job. Now he's still alive, so we can finish him off with a well-thrown dagger.
Let us hope to finish this quickly.
And our most dangerous enemy has been removed. Now you can see these guys have targeted my grave robber, so what I can do is use a duelist advance to move my highwayman up to the front of the battle.
Stumbling and stupefied.
The other ability of the duelist advance gives me a counter attack, so knowing your character's abilities is really a key part of the game. Now we've removed the most dangerous pieces from the board. I'm going to focus on just doing damage at the moment and ending this battle as soon as I can. As you can see, knowing these abilities, often it is trial and error by which you'll learn these, but sometimes using the right ability at the right time, as in this battle, it turned the battle from a very long and protracted fight into a easily won fight. So we're going to take these and we're going to move on. So somewhere within these ruins lies the boss that we need to take out. And he's of course not alone. This isn't going to be an easy fight, but
this is a den of absolute evil and wretchedness. Prepare yourself.
Now, we haven't met the boss that I was expecting. This is another boss called the Librarian, and unfortunately I haven't been able to beat him either, but we are going to attempt to do so.
The library burns, and with it the remains of philosophy, reason, and insight.
So we will open the fight by going for the most dangerous enemy, obviously the back line. So a well-timed dagger to the face. Unfortunately it missed. And we'll follow this up with Barristan's trusty mace. Again, I'm going for the fanatic at the back lines. He has that burning brazier. You can do a ton of damage with it. And these enemies are very tough. Next thing I'm going to do is go for a... We're going to go for a healing ability, or to buff our squad, because this is going to be a long battle.
Cooperation is the key.
Now he's going to try and move to the front line. I want to avoid that, so let's keep pouring on that lead. My goal is to prevent him from getting to the front line. Barristan is soaking up the damage at the moment, but we can't keep this up, so a blinding gas would be another good move. That's going to blind our foes. Now, these zombies wouldn't normally be a problem. It's because they're being bolstered by this fanatic, so we need to end this. And I think some poison may help to do that. If our regular attacks do nothing against him, so I think using poison may be our best bet. Let's see if a aimed shot. There we go. And with a combination of poison and pistol rounds, our most dangerous foe has gone down. We can finish off another enemy with a well-timed plague bomb, and then we can work on the front line. Now, one thing you may not have noticed is enemies, depending on their position on the field, their attacks are also limited. By having a zombie at the back, he can't actually use his ability to bite and scratch us, which greatly affects his ability to do damage. And sometimes moving your characters around based on their health level and their abilities is your best move. Right now Barristan's taking a hell of a lot of damage, so I'm swapping to more of a defensive type of skill.
Another impediment, cleared with impunity.
I dare say we have won this battle. I'm going to try and bolster our health. Remove the plague and finish this guy off with a good old pickaxe to the skull. And with that, another group of enemies is slain. We have some very, very powerful items, so we're going to move on to the next battle. So now things get even harder. We have another set of enemies that are even more dangerous than the last. Again, we want to try and get rid of these characters at the back, especially the shaman, whose ability to heal will make it very troublesome for us. Now, this is not looking good. He is very hard to kill, so let's see if we can carefully use our duelist.
A breakthrough.
Excellent. So we actually lucked out with a critical hit. Now, we're nearly at the end of our turn, so I think what we'll do is we're going to swap to a more defensive approach to bolster our health. We're going to continue focusing on that shaman, because as you can see, he has healed himself, and he will continue to heal until we take him down. And this guy can heal himself. That is not good. So we need to get rid of these healers. As you can see, they're just constantly healing all the time.
Mistimed, misdirected.
We're going to blind them in the hopes that will stymie his ability to heal. This is one hell of a fight. And I don't know if we can win. Their healing abilities quickly outstripping my ability to do damage, so we have got to get rid of this healer. He's hoping fly true dagger.
Straightforward.
Excellent.
And effective.
And so with one of the healers removed from the battle, our next task is to take out as many of these guys as we can. I'm going to apply some poison to our burning friend here. And we can see here we've done a ton of damage. He's weak against poison. Good to know. Here we can do a number of different attacks, but I'm going to go with poison. It seems that poison's doing very well against these guys. Our highwayman is really taking some damage right now, so we're going to swap our approach a bit. Oh, there we go, another enemy down. And with a critical success, everything in this game is a roll of the dice. In our case, at least we've had the odds in our favour. Now this character is doing a lot of damage. He has a counter-attack ability, so we should swap from close range to a long range attacks, thus negating his ability to hit us. Now, our highwayman and barrister are really taking some punishment right now. We are reduced to ranged attacks. We can't even... Yeah, we have no choice here. And so we need to We need to swap focus from doing damage just to staying alive right now.
A brilliant conclusion.
It seems that we have had some very, very opportune dice rolls in this battle, with critical hits left and right, and no doubt that is due to our characters being heavily upgraded. Now, as much as I wanted to fight the boss, due to the heavy damage to our characters, I don't think we can win this fight, and I'd rather escape with what I've got and keep the abilities we've earned rather than attack this boss and most certainly fail.
Abandoned or forgotten, it is ours now.
And sometimes this game is about hard decisions. With our characters heavily hurt and with our frontline warrior Barristan just getting absolutely savaged in that battle, it would be suicide to attempt to fight the librarian. And so we're going to move on, and we're going to try and see if we can find one, a safe harbour, and two, a place for Barristan to rest. Now, over time, your heroes, you can see they're regaining their health.
To arms, though it brings no satisfaction.
It appears we're up against another group of enemies. We can retreat, or we can fight, and unfortunately, I am going to retreat simply... Actually, we're nearly at full health. I'm going to... This may be a poor choice, but with great risk comes great reward. So we've got a shaman again. Our goal is to put this guy in the ground as soon as possible. Hit him with everything we've got. He needs to go down for us to have any chance to win. We'll follow it up with a blinding gas that'll stop his ability to heal, I hope. You can see that was a good move because it prevented his counterattack. Pistol shot to the dome. This is gonna hurt. Their frontline warrior is very powerful, but fighting him without removing their healer from the board would be just pure suicide. Oh, a critical hit has done heavy damage to Barristan. This may not have been a good idea after all, but we shall continue on.
Mistimed as directed.
If we can take out the shaman, we may yet have a chance. So I'm going to pour it on. And thankfully we have some success. Next we're going to follow it up with some healing.
The slow suffering begins.
It's time to end this fight. Oh. So now I have to change my approach. This guy in the front line has to go. He's doing just so much damage. So we're going to start off with some poison. Then we're going to follow it up with a slice.
Excellent work.
Oh, very nice. A critical hit. Then we're going to heal Barristan, who's really hurt. If he goes down, we're in major problems.
Measure out your violence and apply it judiciously.
Now we really need to do something about this guy, so I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for this guy because he can heal. Then I'm going to go for some more poison. Then I'm going to go for a pistol shot. And then finally, I don't seem to be able to heal Barristan. We just have to hope that this monster doesn't... Oh.
Incremental, but deadly all the same.
A strike to Barristan may kill him, so let's end this fight and end it quick. Oh. And we can see we're up against the wall here. We need to finish this fast or Barristan is as good as dead. Luckily our good doctor came in clutch, and with that our foe is felled. And I should have ran. I shouldn't have taken on that battle, but that is the game. It is all about risk reward.
Myriad options require careful deliberation.
We're going to go for a hero shrine. I'm going to take any choice that avoids battle now.
A place to reflect. Remember.
Whoop, there's a bit of a camera bug there. Sometimes when you're passing through arches, the camera kind of gets stuck inside the scenery.
The half-remembered horrors of their past.
Now these are different shrines that will unlock your hero's backstory. So I'm going to pick the hero that is the least hurt. So obviously our grave robber has taken no damage. You can take damage within these backstories.
Grave robber. Chapter 1. Luxury's lap. Born into money and married into more, she spent her days on horseback and her evenings in the ballroom. She was the object of her husband's boorish lust and drunken temper, placating his worst tendencies with a veneer of gracious deference, all the while indulging murderous fantasies of freedom and the fortune that would soon be hers.
So every time we complete one of these stories, we will get additional abilities for our character. We also uncover more of the lore of the game, and I really like this. I like that your characters, you really don't know anything about them. On top of that, a lot of them aren't really good guys. You have characters that have some morally dubious pasts and have done some reprehensible things, but they are attempting to seek redemption.
They have nothing left to give.
Now over time our characters will heal. As you can see, they are getting their health back. It is my hope that we will be fully healed before the next encounter, but
by the impending apocalypse, the fanatics burn book and building alike.
now we have a ways to go. My goal now has changed from defeating the boss.
If you hope to heal, you have chosen wisely.
My goal is to make it to the inn, because our characters are pretty badly hurt, and we'll go for a boss run in a future attempt. We've run into a field hospital. This is an excellent opportunity for our characters to get themselves patched up. And Barristan, who's heavily hurt, I am happy to... Yeah, let's get him healed up. I have the money. Excellent.
The loathing whispers.
So with our characters fairly, they are patched up, but I want to try and make it to the inn because we are very close. I'm going to take the less dangerous path. Keeping in mind that if you fall in battle, although you do retain some of the items and the experience, you don't retain it all. So sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. I'm going to buy some healing items. and the rest of the stuff they have is quite expensive. I'm happy with that. At the start of the game, when your characters are a little bit more weak, you want to try and focus, at least what I've found, is to focus on items and abilities that will restore your health. There are many dangers on the road and very few opportunities to restore your health, and often, even when restoring your health, you still won't be able to fully heal. Now, thankfully, unfortunately, we've... Oh man, that is a terrible thing to happen. We've ended up with one of our characters having sustained massive damage. Your characters do have a stress level, and if that is breached, then they can have a number of different nasty afflictions occur. In this case, my goal is to keep Barristan from dying, and also to destroy the shaman of this group. Again, we're trying to focus on the enemies that are the most dangerous, and for now, this shaman is our biggest problem. Man, this is going to be a difficult battle. With Barristan's health compromised, this could end up being our final battle. We may not make it, but we will attempt to make it through, because if I don't, I'm gonna... Oh, no.
For who knows what lurks in the beyond.
So when a character is on death's door, that means that the next attack has a chance of killing them outright. So we need some luck, although I think I may have used it all up. Can't hit that guy, so what I'm going to do is swap with Barristan using the duelist advance. This means that this does up the chance of my highwayman getting hit, but because his health is a bit higher than the others, that's a risk I am willing to take. Things are looking dire. And Barristan has fallen in battle. All I can do now is try and keep the remaining heroes on their feet. And I don't know how we're going to win this without Barristan's trusty mace. Our highwayman is a dangerous foe, but is definitely not cut out to be a frontline warrior. I'm going to use some blinding gas to try and prevent them from being able to heal. This is not good. This is not good. We may lose this. Our highwayman is valiantly holding the front line. But I don't know. I don't know if we can do this, so we will keep up the assault as long as we can. Unfortunately, I cannot raise our friend Barristan from the dead, but I can buff our remaining characters. Yeah, I can't do anything for him, unfortunately, except maybe use a buff skill
In crisis,
to reduce the
we
damage.
rely only upon each other.
With Barristan dead, our chances are severely hampered. These enemies have heavily buffed armor, and most of our attacks are doing a little more than scratching them. Unfortunately, I think our luck may have come to an end, but we will fight to the end. With my highwayman on the front lines, he can't use his pistol, but I dare not move him, because if I do, our backline characters will be shredded. Hopefully some poison will... There we go. So certain enemies have different resistances and different weaknesses. It appears a poison seems to be very effective. Oh. Unfortunately, we have another character. And it appears... It appears that we have we've gotten a boon from one of our characters actually not cracking under pressure, and let's use that advantage to press the attack. If we are going to fall in battle, I'm going to take as many of them with me as I can. Unfortunately, our highwayman has fallen, and the enemies are now healing rapidly, and I fear they may heal at a rate that I can't keep up with, but I want to take out some of them at least take their shaman with us. It's that feeling of helplessness sometimes where you're just up against these overwhelming odds. I mean, we have no chance of being able to win this fight, unfortunately. Just the sheer quantity of damage that they're doing. Unfortunately, the next character falls. I don't even have any items to heal that are left. Nothing left, unfortunately. We'll continue fighting on. Oh, the poison's done its work. So we've got both of them poisoned, at least. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that can help turn this fight around. All I can hope for is to maybe take a few of them with us. There we go. We took one of them with us, two of them with us. You may take our lives, but you're not going to take them cheap. Oh, I do have a healing flask. Just the amount of bleed damage I'm taking, it seems to be outstripping whatever health I can. Okay, I think we'll keep up the bleeding and the poison damage, and hopefully that will, if we win this fight, it will be the biggest hat trick in history. I don't think we can, but oh, I think we will. We might actually be able to pull this off.
Incremental, but deadly all the same.
Oh, man. We may limp through this. Sally forth, give no quarter.
Sweat-soaked brows, unsteady stances. Exhaustion takes hold.
Oh man, what a hat trick.
Heavy entrance.
We went from certain defeat.
Calculation. A consequence.
Certain defeat to a narrow victory, unfortunately at the cost of 2 of our people's lives. Now, with only our 2 characters left, all we can do is hope to make it to the next inn, because the next battle will be the end of our group. With only 2 living heroes, there's no chance of us surviving another encounter. But we are close to the inn. And we've done it. I think we've done it. We made it.
Lower your guard.
Oh, we did.
Soften your
We made
gaze.
it.
It is safe here.
Now we can see here that we gained some really nice perks, some additional abilities to help us on our way. But unfortunately, 2 of our heroes fell in battle. The point is though, we made it past the first section of the game and the first video of Darkest Dungeon 2. If you did enjoy this, please let me know. I would love to continue playing this. It's a fantastic game. Big thanks to the developers, Red Hook. I really think the only thing I have to regret is that I didn't play Darkest Dungeon 1, so I am going to have to go back and play that. If you are a fan of turn-based strategy, if you like horror-based games, if you like your games hard and unforgiving, then Darkest Dungeon is an absolute recommendation for me. Go and check it out, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.